Here's the baby goat sitting on the pond dam. Came out earlier to check on them, and they were, the mama and baby were both in the shelter sleeping. Oh, he's running away from me. Yeah, I'm just gonna, well, more like he's running to his mama. Hey, baby goat. Oh, are you gonna fall down the pond dam? As long as you're falling away from the pond and not towards it. This pond's more like a glorified little stock tank type of pond for just for the animals to have drinks throughout the summer. So, yeah, got one person watching. This little baby goat is 2 days old. He's already nibbling at the weeds and stuff. Not really sure what to do with them yet, but he's putting his mouth on them anyways. Uh-oh. Huh. Oh, he's so cute. Sitting there scratching behind his ears and his cheek and chin. Kind of woke him up when I walked out here. He was over here sleeping on the pond dam, and his mom was just eating. And he kind of heard me walk up to him and got up and ran to his mama. It's amazing, even at 2 days old, how agile they are. How I mean, you can just pick up his back foot and scratch behind his ears with it. I've seen his mama do that a bunch, but well, I'm gonna leave the camera right here. I gotta go check on a sheep real quick. Alright, I'm back. Just had to go look at one of the mama ewes. It's that tan and white one there in the background. Oh, thank you. Yeah, the mama was born here on Christmas a year and a half ago, and this baby was born 2 days ago. But that tan and white ewe you see in the background there, she's got the two little babies with her. They're not little anymore, and they're still nursing. And just going to check, and because yeah, we try to. this time of year, it's been raining so much without a lot of sunshine, and uh, yeah, our grass is just short. The ground is soggy everywhere, and it's kind of limiting what's growing because some of these plants don't like the wet roots all the time. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Some of them do. Some of the animals here do, and some don't. Um, I've been petting all over this little baby goat the last couple of days. He's not skittish at all. He'll walk right up to me and just stand right between my legs and for me to pet him and whatever. And he's very comfortable with me. The mama, um, we can pet her some, but then she shies away. Um, and some of our sheep let us pet them, and some of them don't. But the male goat, our little buck, that's this baby's dad, he won't let us touch him. He's pretty shy. Uh, but then we have a Jersey cross steer calf that he is aggressively friendly. He'll come up and just use me as a scratching post and try and rub his horns all over me, his head, whatever. So I have to watch out for him. He almost pushed me in the pond a couple days ago. I was standing at the edge of the pond looking at a lot of the baby fish that had spawned in it, and that steer walked up and just started rubbing his head on me and almost pushed me in the pond. So yeah, it depends. Like, so some animals are really good at letting us pet them, and some aren't. Um, but yeah, this little baby goat is the newest addition. Yeah, he's the youngest animal here. Of course, in the pond here, we've got a whole bunch of baby fish, and I was walking around it earlier, and there's a section of the pond where it's really shallow, maybe 25 feet long, and goes out about 5 feet or so, and it is just covered with fish eggs. So sometime in the next week or so, there's going to be a whole lot more baby fish in the pond. It's like the mama's walking off to go find some more food. Yeah, so what I mean by aggressively friendly is he walks right up to me and tries to, he's trying to use me as a scratching post. Uh, like, he's just so friendly and wants attention so much that, and he's big, so he can be aggressive. You know, he's not meaning to be aggressive, but he can hurt you if you're not careful just because of him wanting attention. Yeah, we started with chickens and guineas, and it's kind of progressed from there. We got calves and horses pretty quick after getting chickens and guineas, and then we still got a couple of horses, and we've only got one steer calf right now. Then we switched into sheep. That's a good one, Erwin. Yeah, that steer calf we've got is also very curious, especially around the baby animals and smaller ones. So till this little guy's running around a bit better, we've had to lock him up and keep him separate because all it would take is a little bump from that steer, or get this one getting stepped on, and he'd be gone because he's so small compared to the steer. So. But all our sheep and goats and the lambs, once they're a week or so, have been running around with the steer just fine and have had no issues. Well, welcome. You feel free to watch some of the other videos too after this, and if you like the content, feel like subscribing, go ahead. But yeah, definitely welcome. It kind of depends on the size of the goat and what type of forage you have. Goats don't do that great when it's just grass. They need more to eat than just grass. If you have them in an area where you've got some trees, some shrubs, some weeds in there, they'll do a lot better than just on pure grass. Our pond has been overflowing with every rainstorm this spring. This has been the wettest year I've ever seen anywhere I've lived. We're getting, we're getting multiple inch rains a couple times a week since March, basically. There was about 3 weeks ago, we had a rainstorm that dumped 4 inches of rain in an hour. So our pond was overflowing quite a bit from that. And the ground below the downhill from the pond, which down this way, is just staying completely saturated. I'm honestly surprised we haven't lost the pond dam this year with how much water we've gotten. But I think last summer when the pond was low, I had a little bit of time left on a skid steer rental, and I dumped some dirt on the pond dam and built up a little bit in spots where it was thin. So I think that's kind of what's helped prevent it from basically destroying itself this year. So, and I had intended to build up the pond dam a bit more when I had the excavator, but the pond was so full I couldn't even get it over here, and the ground was so saturated. I didn't want to chance sinking the excavator trying to bring it over here, so I didn't get anything done with it. Maybe towards the end of the summer or early fall, if the pond's lower, I'll get an excavator out here and get it built up a bit better. But yeah, this pond has basically just been a work in progress. I built it 3 years ago when, again, I had a skid steer rental for a different project, and got to where I had about 6 hours. I rented it for a week and I had about 6 hours left of time to use the skid steer, and this area where the pond is kind of just a natural low spot in the ground, and so scrape the topsoil up into a berm, and then the clay underneath it I pushed up and lined the pond dam. And 6 hours with the skid steer wasn't enough to get it all perfect, but it got it to mostly hold water. Pond dam leaks in a few spots and overflows some. It's not perfectly level across the top either, so, but yeah. Well, yeah, clay doesn't percolate very well, so it holds the water. It's great for ponds. You need it for lining the ponds, but yeah, it won't percolate. And yeah, the top, we have, depending on where we're at on the property, we have between about 8 inches and 2 feet of topsoil before we get into clay, and then anywhere from like 3 to 5 feet of clay before we're hitting sandstone. So that's what we're dealing with in this area. So in order to make this pond deeper, which I want to do, I'm going to have to let it get really low and then dig it out with the excavator down to just above the sandstone layer and push all that clay up onto the pond dam. and then bring in some topsoil to coat it with. But let me pan around to the pond real quick. Little goats laying down there on the side, but there's the house in the background. It's still a work in progress. But yeah, when it's full, it's I think just under 1/8 of an acre is all. It's not a big pond. It's never going to be big enough for trophy bass or anything, but we've got minnows and mosquito fish and bluegill in the pond right now, and some crawfish that have just kind of found crawfish, turtles, and snakes that have migrated here on their own. And then somehow there's another fish that we never put in the pond that's maybe 8 to 10 inches long and is orange. I don't know what kind of fish. I kind of see him in flashes sometimes when he's eating bugs off the top of the water. Yeah, it's been a couple weeks since I've seen that fish in the pond, but yeah, he's around somewhere. All right, have a good one. Thank you. It probably was a big one of those gray or white cranes that brought it in as a fish egg, most likely. But what type of fish or where it came from, exactly where it came from, I don't know. But it was here last summer and survived the summer and all through the winter under the ice, and I've seen it several times this year. So. Now a couple of the geese are making their way back to the pond. There's a spot uphill from the pond where we had a round bell that they didn't eat all the way, and it kind of rotted out in place, and the geese have been going there digging through it and I think picking bugs and worms out of it. Hello. You got to say, when it comes to the birds around here, I like the geese and the ducks better than the chickens and the guineas. I mean, the guineas are better than the chickens. I'm getting frustrated with the chickens lately. They lay eggs and they're good, but no, they've been digging in the garden a bunch. No, we're not in Wisconsin. Oh, there's a snake right by me. You want to see a snake? It is just poking its head up out of the water right there, right on the edge. Between the, I don't know, see, maybe I can point at it. Its head is right there. Gonna try zooming in a little bit, and then I'll get back to showing the baby goat. Oh, it just went back under the water. There was a snake coming up out of the water right next to me. Oh, there he's back again. Yep, well, he's pretty much out of the water now. Sorry about the camera work there. There he goes, back in the water. That's one of the little snakes around here. He's not one of the bigger ones. Surprised he's that close to me and not swimming off. Normally they see me and they take off. Yeah, he actually just took off. Right as I said that, moved my arm kind of quick, I guess, and he took off out into the water. Almost knocked the camera over there, sorry. Yeah, thank you for all the likes, everybody. Really appreciate the likes and any of the interactions on the videos. It's nice to actually be able to have that interaction and not just feel like I'm sitting here trying to talk and occupy everybody's time without any response. There's all the geese on the pond. Back this up a little bit so you can actually see the geese and the... So one of the reasons we decided to get geese is because, well, when I was a little kid, my parents had a couple of geese, and those geese were very good at protecting the other animals, especially from stuff like snakes and such. They would, if they saw a snake, they would sit there and protect anything else from getting near. Hello. Glad to see so many people actually enjoying these live streams. It's just casually sitting out here by the pond, hanging out with the baby goat. He's just laying there sleeping while his mama's off eating in the background. Thank you for the likes and the comments. Yes, it's like Brad said hi, Sabina said hi, and Kathy um, sent some smiley faces with hearts, it looks like. Thank you. Yeah. So for those that are watching, any of you have a little farm with animals, or anybody have goats or sheep? Yeah, his name is Willow. We asked for some suggestions in the live stream last night or yesterday evening, and that was one of the suggestions, and we decided we liked it, so yeah, named him Willow. Oh, looking out at the pond right now, I can see 4 different snakes with their heads above water. Yikes. Yeah, we like it. Thank you. Hello, Francis. I don't want to disturb him. He's sleeping so peacefully. If I move him, he's going to try running right over there to where his mom's at, and that's the steepest part of the pond. There's a few different types. Yeah, I'm not exactly sure what all we have, but there are definitely copperheads around. There's common water snakes too, and there could be water moccasins as well. I know from the back they look very similar, and you got to look at their bellies to really tell, and their mouths to tell the difference between the common water snake and the water moccasin. But I'm not 100% sure which one those are that are right over there. But yeah, we've definitely had some copperheads around. I haven't actually seen any this year, but last year we saw several. Um, I don't know, 7 or 8 copperheads last year. A couple of those big black rat snakes last year too. Well, just so Willow's laying right here. About 2.5, 3 feet over is the pond, and between the end of um, that log there and the bank, about 8 inches off of the end of that log towards me, is one of the snakes with its head sitting above water. So it's about 4 feet away from Will right now. And now it's right there at the end of that log. And there it went back underwater. All right. All right. I'm gonna zoom out a little bit. There we go. All right. I'm being told to move him somewhere else, get him away from the pond. So I'm gonna get over here and pick him up. His mama's over there at the other end of the pond dam. All right. Let's go ahead and move him back over here by the shelter we've got for him. We got a little doghouse here with the chicken tractor leaning over it for shade. But with the sun this low, he doesn't really need the shade. But he's been sleeping in this shelter at night with his mama. We've had storms the last 2 nights, but I'm just gonna bring him back over here and set him down and see what he does. Yeah, he's close to the shelter. He's not right under it. There's a couple of chicken eggs in the shelter, it looks like. There's been a hen laying eggs in that doghouse. So. You're welcome. Move this chair over so I can sit down and read the comments again. Yeah, I don't want a snake to get him either. I was keeping an eye on the snake, but they do move pretty quick, so it was a good idea to get him away. Yeah, let me get a little closer to the back, show the back of the doghouse back here. Sorry, it's going to take a minute for the light to adjust. But back there in the corner, there's a chicken that's been making a nest and has a couple eggs in it. Where are you going? He's going to try and knock the camera over again, I bet. What you doing? You just trying to smell the camera? Yep, I'm moving right up to the base of the tripod. What you doing, little buddy? Willow. Yep, sorry about that, everybody. The stream cut out there. I guess I lost connection for a bit. The Willow's been up running around and jumping and playing since I moved him over here. I think I'm going to have to hold the camera because he's... Yep. There we go. He's being a bit more active. There was a little bit ago. No. He's actually sitting there peeing, but you can't really see it because the stick fits between us. Yes, it's a good thing that that stick's there, huh? Hello, Raymond. Sorry if I missed any comments. I think the stream had cut out for about a minute and I missed anything that was said during that time, so sorry about that. At this point, I'm just trying to keep up with the little guy. Hey, are you coming up here to say hi? He's trying to stand right at the base of the tripod. What? Let me scratch? Let me scratch for you? Oh, you're going to run off. Okay. Little back scratch. Yes, you're already getting horns. You are 2 days old and starting to grow horns already. I can feel them. But yes, you like your head scratched, don't you? His mama is still off eating. Sun's about going to set probably in 15 or 20 minutes, and then it'll start getting dark, but she needs to be up and eating and getting some calories before it gets dark because she's going to end up feeding this guy overnight. You like your head scratched? There's your mama on the other side of the pond. Oh, you want more? You're like, don't stop the head scratch. He just fell over. Are you calling for your mama now? Where are you going? I'm just going to follow him. Yeah. So there's a fence there, but his mama is right on the other side of the fence over there on that pond dam where he was sleeping before. But with that snake right by him, I had to move him over here. Here comes Mama. She heard him. She's running. She's running for you, buddy. Oh, are you going to try and go through the fence? Hey. What? Hey, Willow. We don't need to go through the fence. Let's go this way. Mama will come around. Look, here comes Mama. Sorry about the camera work there. He took off. Running back towards Mama. He's small enough he could fit through there, but not sure he's coordinated enough to. I'm just going to All right. Seems like where they're at right now is because it's a low spot, the camera won't work if I try to take it over there to them. And I think it has to do partly with that structure I've got right there, pond dam or whatever direction. Anyways, he is back over there by his mama. I carried him around the end of the fence and he immediately ran right back over there. But I'm gonna try and get both of them back in here by the shelter because the sun is setting. And yeah, so I'm gonna set the camera up back here so y'all can kind of see him and the shelter, and go back a little further. All right, I guess we're back live again. I saw it cut out again. Started walking around to pick him up, but all right, he's back in here where the shelter is. So yeah, with the connectivity being kind of bad right now, I might just go ahead and end the live stream soon. I just wanted to make sure him and his mom were in here. I'm not going to lock them in the shelter tonight because I don't think we're supposed to get a real bad storm tonight. And they've been going in the shelter to sleep. We locked them in the first 2 nights, and they've been going back in throughout the day today to sleep. So I'm hoping the mom will take him right back over there, right back over to that shelter and go inside.